If you're wondering which noise-canceling headphones are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. Sony WH-1000X-M6. These cans have a processor 7 times faster than before and 12 microphones just to make sure you never have to hear your own thoughts again. The noise canceling is basically witchcraft for high-pitched screaming, but they still look like unseasoned chicken and don't even have a water resistance rating. Would I buy it? Yes, because blocking out 40 decibels of office gossip is worth looking like a generic NPC. Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra 2nd Gen. Bose finally figured out how to make a limousine for your ears that deletes airplane engine roar better than a lawyer deletes browser history. The bass is deep enough to rattle your ancestors, but the call quality still sounds like you're talking through a soggy loaf of bread. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you value absolute silence more than people actually hearing what you say on a phone call. Sennheiser Momentum 4 Wireless. These things have a 60-hour battery life, which is great because you'll probably die before you ever need to find a charging cable. The noise canceling is solid, but it's not quite at the level of the Sony or Bose gods, and the plastic build feels a bit like a toy from a cereal box. Would I buy it? Yes, because charging your headphones once a month is the ultimate flex for lazy people. Apple AirPods Max USB-C. Apple finally gave us a universal charging port but kept the same bra-shaped case that protects absolutely nothing and looks ridiculous. The noise canceling at the low end is actually insane, but paying this much for a heavy metal headband that lacks a proper power button is peak consumerism. Would I buy it? No, because I refuse to pay a premium for a headphone case that looks like a cheap handbag from a discount store. Bowers & Wilkins X8. These are the Rolls-Royce of headphones with Napa leather and aluminum, making you feel like a billionaire even if your bank account says otherwise. They sound like a dream, but the noise canceling is actually worse than the Sennheiser and they cost more than a used car. Would I buy it? No, because looking rich while hearing the peasant next to me chew his gum is a bad deal. Sonos Ace. These headphones look like they were designed by an architect who refuses to use straight lines, and while the noise canceling is top tier enough to mute a jet engine, it still struggles with a stiff breeze. They feel like clouds on your ears, but trying to integrate them into your existing Sonos home ecosystem is a bigger headache than a hangover from cheap tequila. Would I buy it? Maybe, because while they are the most comfortable things I have ever worn, paying $449 for a Sonos product that barely talks to other Sonos speakers is basically paying for a very expensive identity crisis. Marshall monitored with $30. And with a staggering 70 hours of battery life with noise canceling on, these will literally outlive your will to listen to music before they need a charge. They look like they belong on a rock star, but the active noise canceling is only slightly above average, so don't expect them to silence the screaming toddler in row 12 as well as the Bose. Would I buy it? Yes, specifically because I am too lazy to charge my electronics more than once a month, and I want everyone at the coffee shop to think I own a vintage motorcycle. Focal Bathis. These audiophile-grade cans sound so crisp you will hear the drummer's sweat hitting the floor, but the noise canceling is honestly just meh compared to the heavy hitters in this price bracket. They are built like a tank and look like a luxury watch for your head, yet they weirdly don't have a passive mode, meaning if the battery dies, you are stuck with a very shiny and expensive paperweight. Would I buy it? No, because spending $700 on headphones that can't block out a basic vacuum cleaner is like buying a Ferrari that can't go over 40 miles per hour. Anker Soundcore Space One. These are the budget kings that try to fight the big boys with an adaptive noise canceling system that works surprisingly well for the price of a fancy steak dinner. They might feel a bit plastic and the transparency mode sounds like you are listening to the world through a tin can, but for under $100, they block out human chatter better than most people's social skills. Would I buy it? Yes, because I am prone to losing things and I'd rather lose a $99 pair of headphones than have a midlife crisis over a lost $400 pair. Bose Quiet Comfort Headphones. These are the gold standard for silence, effectively turning a construction site into a library with the flick of a switch. They are so light, you'll forget they are on your head until you try to wash your face, though the microphone sounds like you are talking from the bottom of a well. Would I buy it? Yes, because if my main goal is to ignore the entire world, nobody does shut-up technology better than Bose, even if they haven't changed the design since the dawn of time. Bowers & Wilkins PX7S3. These cans sound like a choir of angels, but the active noise canceling gives me that weird pressurized ear feeling like I'm trapped in a vacuum with a very expensive headache. They look like actual art on your head, but the clamping force is so tight I felt like my skull was being auditioned for a nutcracker role. Would I buy it? Maybe, Only if you have a small head and care more about looking like a refined billionaire than actually silencing a crying baby on a plane. Sennheiser Accentum Plus. The adaptive active noise cancelling is smart enough to handle low-end engine rumbles better than the base model, but high-pitched keyboard clackers still sound like they are typing directly inside your brain. While the 50-hour battery life is basically a cheat code for travelers, the touch controls are so sensitive that adjusting my glasses accidentally skipped 3 of my favorite tracks. Would I buy it? Yes, because 50 hours of juice means I can ignore my responsibilities for 2 straight days without needing a charger. Sony WH-CH72EN. These are the budget siblings of the kings of noise cancelling, and while they block out low-pitched hums at 80 Hz pretty well, the plasticky build feels like it came out of a cereal box. They are impressively lightweight for long sessions, but the default sound tuning is so wonky you will be diving into the equalizer app faster than you can say cheap plastic. Would I buy it? No, because I would rather save my lunch money for another month to get something that doesn't feel like it will snap if I sneeze too hard. 1. More Sonoflow. For less than $100, the NoiseMax technology surprisingly nukes the sound of a running shower, but the moment you turn the active noise cancelling on, the audio gets as muddy as a swamp. They boast a ridiculous 70-hour battery life, yet they handle wind noise so poorly that a light breeze sounds like a Category 5 hurricane in your ears. Would I buy it? Yes. As a backup pair, since they cost less than a fancy steak dinner and the noise cancelling punches way above its weight class. Beats Studio Pro. The noise cancelling is finally decent enough to kill 90% of background whine, but for some reason, the bass response is weaker than a wet noodle, which is literally the opposite of why people buy Beats. They work great with both Android and Apple, but the build quality is still mostly premium plastic that creaks louder than my knees when I try to stand up. Would I buy it? No, because if I am paying pro prices, I want my eardrums to actually rattle from the bass like the old days. JBL Tour 1M2. The noise cancelling on these is surprisingly decent at killing low-frequency drone, but the touch controls are so sensitive that a light breeze or a stray hair will accidentally pause your music and make you look like a confused mime. While the adaptive noise cancelling tries its best to keep up with your environment, the plastic build feels a bit cheap compared to the more premium Shure, and you might find the volume randomly dropping whenever you try to touch the equalizer settings. Would I buy it? Maybe, because they are incredibly comfortable for long flights if you can handle the annoyance of accidentally triggering the buttons every 5 minutes. Shure Onyx 50 Gen 2. These things are built like a tank and deliver high-resolution audio codecs that make the JBL look like a toy, but the noise cancelling is merely okay, and will let in way more background chatter than you would expect for the price. They are great for people who want a massive holographic soundstage and physical buttons that actually work, even though wearing them feels like you have 2 heavy leather pillows clamped to your skull that might give you a workout just by existing. Would I buy it? Yes, specifically because the studio quality sound and built-in digital to analog converter are worth the extra weight if you care more about music than total silence. Edifier WH95 Duo. And B. For a budget option, these punch way above their weight class with noise cancelling that handles airplane rumbles better than some expensive competitors, though they can make your ears sweat like a marathon runner after just 20 minutes. The design is a bit generic, and the control layout is about as intuitive as a Rubik's Cube in the dark, but you get a surprisingly balanced sound that rivals the more expensive JBL without the finicky touch panels. Would I buy it? Yes, because they offer 90% of the premium noise cancelling experience for a fraction of the cost, as long as you do not mind the occasional ear oven effect. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the noise cancelling headphones for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.